the same police officer who will go unnamed, but his name is in dockets in federal court. He is a decent man. I wrote an affidavit as to what happened and what was going on between me and the tax department. He witnessed it. As a double check, Henry Tonning, the first judge that Brad Green ever appointed, is also a personal friend of mine. I went to see him in his chambers and had him witness the affidavit, but he didn't sign it. Just goes away. That's the problem. You understand? Now, on the 29th, that was the day, it's in your paper, the big to-do over legal aid. A personal friend of mine, her brother, had to answer a false charge by the Crown. And since there was no legal aid and he was much upset, his sister asked me to go with him, and all he had to do was plead not guilty and shut up. That's what I advised him to do, but for some reason there was legal aid there that day that these fellows today are arguing about conflict of interest. She's employed by the Crown, and she advised my friend what they did was the Crown had realized they were in error and he had not offended that person and had tried to change the charges against him and put another name on it. And asked Henrik if that was okay, and he said if it's okay with the defense. She took him to the side, but in front of me and not before the court, and advising him that it was okay to change the name and he should plead guilty to that one. I simply told him not to listen to her. She immediately squawked to Henrik, and Henrik said, "What's going on?" and ordered me to stand up. He introduced me to the proceedings. I said, "I'm just witness to this lady not advising this man of his rights. He doesn't even understand the charges. This is ridiculous," and sat down. Later, Henrik decided to have a hearing about this matter because things did seem rather unusual, I think those his words, and then chose to slam me from the bench, saying, "I don't know who's advising you, but you need a lawyer." At that, I stood up. Henry ordered me to sit down, and I said, "No, Henry, you know me well." He then admitted to knowing me quite well, and even brought up reviewing my problems in his chambers. And then he opened the door wide and asked me about them. Now, before the court had started, before Henrik was in the room and we were sitting there waiting, a lawyer by the name of David Lutz had come in. Now, David Lutz had his campaign, had his office for John Herron's campaign office. John Herron is not a lawyer, but he is a member of Parliament. I served John Herron in front of 200 witnesses and told them to give him to David Lutz. David Lutz walked into court that morning before court started, and over a month and a half had gone by, and Lutz said good day to me, and I said, "Good day, sir." I said, "The letter to you, it did not warrant an answer. You'll find that letter in there to him." He told me in front of everyone that was waiting in court, and in particular, 4 police officers, Graham Milner, John DeLanner, Tara Sullivan, and a pretty girl with long dark hair. He told me in front of witnesses he had given that stuff to law enforcement. I looked at the cops and said, "Who?" He wouldn't say. So, the local police has had lots of fun ghosting me around, but they don't bother me. Graham Milner and I had a long talk about this stuff one night in the Bluebird, when the priest Bill Elliott invited every candidate from 2 ridings except me to his debate. I called him, and I said, "Bill Elliott, how come you didn't invite me?" I said, "Yimmins, remember, you're one of my favorite stock car races." I said, "I'm David Amos. I'm a candidate. They invited you. You invited everybody but me. Why?" "Oh, I never heard of you." I was in his local paper that day. said, well, then you don't know I'm the reason Cardinal Law stepped down from his post on December 13, 2002. He said, what does that have to do with the debate then? He knew exactly who I was. I went to the debate, did not interfere, sat in the audience and stared my adversaries down. And in front of all the witnesses in the St. Joseph Church that night, out in the yard, I gave the priest, Bill Elliott, the same documents and 3 of these dates, and told him to give it to me. Then, months later, I'm contacting the Solicitor General of New Brunswick, head of the Department of Public Safety, Wayne Easter, who could have voted for me, and who Paul Thursted competed with this lady, in fact, for Bob Moore's candidacy for the Conservative Party. I'm saying to Wayne Easter and Paul Thursted, direct the brand new office that was opened June the 16th, CISNB, to go see the priest, to go see Dave Smyrna, get the tapes, get the evidence, and give me an answer. I was calling, I think it was a man named Connolly. Never returned calls. I finally got through to a fellow, I can't remember his name. Told him largely the same story I'm telling you, but not such great detail, only about going to see the priest and get the tapes. He said he would check out my story. This is no story, this is the truth. Now, I must answer criminal charges in America, and I'm welcoming it with glee because I finally did a jury. But before I go, I've made sure everyone in my native land fails to act within the scope of employment, and particularly law enforcement. That's an infection of.
I have a few short. You said you did go back to Massachusetts.
I must have summoned.
Okay, what date is
September the 3rd.
this year?
Yes.
I just want to
See, I've had my kids up here all summer. He's taking them home separately because, although you may laugh, this is their daily business.
where
I don't know if the mobsters will allow me to get to Boston. Do you understand?
my question was, where is it going to be held? It's in Boston?
Yes. Yes. There was a hearing on August 13th before a clerk magistrate who was not a lawyer, demanding that I come to court and argue a lawyer as to whether or not they should charge me with a criminal act.
What is the offense?
Criminal arrest.
On whom?
A lawyer claims that I harassed her. I did not. The witness who says that I did harass her,
Give me a lawyer?
yes, this lawyer had, there's several actions involving this lawyer, but this particular lawyer had filed a petition to sell my wife's home. I answered, I was the first to make an appearance as an interested party. I live in the home with my 2 children. And then her lawyer filed an appearance as well. Now, this lawyer, in answering her complaint, would bounce my documents to her lawyer. Her lawyer speaks for her, not me.
Who is this lawyer? Do you have
Angela Tricoli. All the documents, but the Tricoli's client